I believe that diversity in spaces is not only about helping students get to those spaces. I believe it's in society's enlightened self-interest to get students of different backgrounds into those spaces. And unless we percolate and cross-fertilize ideas from different students, different people, from different backgrounds, I don't believe we get the wisdom of the crowd. And the wisdom of the crowd, to me, is what's ultimately going to make our society more successful. My name's Arun Alagappan. The Advantage Testing Foundation is a 501c3 public charity whose mission it is to support and elevate the academic and professional ambitions of students of underrepresented backgrounds, and indeed of every background.
So I love this guy. As you can all tell, I love trials, and I want to be involved with it for as long as I possibly can, in any way that I can. I want you all to stay in touch, however you can.
I had the benefit of knowing Arun and choosing him to work with my daughters through his corporation. So he was a tutor to both of my daughters and helped them not only master the material, but prepare them for the tests that they would be facing and getting them ready for both university and then graduate school. With my daughters, I saw that the magic that Arun imparts through his tutoring was of enormous benefit to my two daughters. And I said, wouldn't it be great if less advantaged children have that same opportunity?
So all of our programs, what they do is they invite students to explain to us how they're underrepresented, and then we try to bring them together in diverse cohorts and eventually get to leadership spaces in our society.
For us, education is a game changer for any community, for any young person. And what Arun has done with Advantage Testing Foundation is just amazing. I mean, nothing short of remarkable. We're taking young people who might not have been on a path to college or law school, professional school, and they not only get on that path, but they're able to go to the best schools in the world.
In our lives, we have all fought against something. We fought against poverty, we've fought against loss, we've fought against people who discriminate against us, we've fought against people who stereotyped us, we fought against people who told us that we were no good and that we weren't going to make it. And I think being in this program shows that our fight has been recognized, that each struggle that we've overcame has been worth something, because it's something that we're going to give back.
I think like any charitable organization, Advantage Testing Foundation has two challenges. One is how to maintain and grow its resources financially. And the second is how to maintain and grow its resources in terms of people, personnel, on the board, staff. And these are the topics that the board addresses and develops plans. And I am confident that we will achieve these higher goals.
One of the biggest challenges that just the field of education faces has to do with teachers and just finding really good, high quality teachers who are passionate about teaching. It's a profession that is under-celebrated, it is underpaid. A lot of people are on the clock, 9 to 5, or in the teacher's case, perhaps 8 to 3. And so I think what the Advantage Testing Foundation does is really put a premium on that skill set and the ability of a good teacher to transform a life.
One of the major challenges we've had, because I am not a good fundraiser, it's not my forte. My wife and I contribute, but then we have a few people who contribute a fair amount to our foundation, in some cases a lot. And so one of the challenges we're facing is to try to diversify that base of support. I think that's the number one thing on my mind, is to try to get more people involved We don't have to have large dollar numbers behind this support. We just want a broader base of support.
The foundation is solid. It's clearly capable of achieving excellence in everything it does. It does that on a day-to-day basis. What we need is just more people to get behind it. Trials is important because America is a country that does not have anything that unifies it other than the civil religion of law. And empowering the normally disempowered with the instruments of law to go out and advance justice and equality is the single most important mission that lies ahead for our country. Everything else will flow from that. But we've got to give voice and power to those that normally don't have it. And Trials is the vehicle to move them into the system.
The Trials program, a partnership between NYU and Harvard Law School, as well as Trials, produces an extraordinary life-changing experience of intensive residential opportunity to learn about the LSAT and to master it, and also to learn about the legal profession and its opportunities.
I feel that I wouldn't be able to take the LSAT without the Trials course, at least do as well as I did. Not even do the best, but I mean, I did enough to get here. So I really do feel like Trials prepared me well for the LSAT.
The other thing that it does is provide content. It's an introduction to different parts of legal reasoning, legal analysis, well in advance of when they would be heading off to law school.
And I think it's important for future law students to know, or just kids in general, to not let adversity get you down, but to use it as a stepping stone to get to where you want to be. And that's something that I've learned throughout this program by meeting everyone and even within myself.
It was one of the hardest experiences in life because no shade to the other Trials classes, but we were the only class that's ever been virtual. So we get extra brownie points because we had to do what everybody else did, but virtually. But what came of it was this community, so to speak, that was forged against the background of global racial justice movement, a global pandemic, and yet we still managed to become friends somehow through a laptop screen. And ultimately, many of us are achieving our dreams together as a result of this program. So I attribute all of that to Trials and then some.
It's not a one-time program of getting through the LSAT. Really fosters you to succeed in your chosen path.
Trials was the first time that I realized really you could set yourself up to help an infinite number of people. Like Arun has done, 20 people a year, just Trials, leave aside LEDA and everything else that Arun does. And he's changed the lives not only of the people who participated in those programs, but everyone that they touch.
LEDA stands for Leadership Enterprise for Diverse America. LEDA is the nation's premier organization dedicated to providing programs and services for the nation's best students from underrepresented communities and getting them into the best colleges in the country.
The Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America was started some 20 some odd years ago, and I was on the charter board of trustees of that organization. The reason it fascinated me was that we did have some programs, such as Prep for Prep, that had been targeting underrepresented minorities in our city community. So at one point for 3 years, it was known as the Advantage Testing Leader Scholars. I urged them to drop our name from the program because I thought the Leadership Enterprise for a Diverse America was more generic and more capable of generating interest from different quarters. More than 1% of Stanford's entering class comes from this 100-person program. The students who graduate from this program, they're all low income from rural public schools. Many of them have never left their states. They have gone on to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, or Stanford, or MIT. It's quite remarkable. That record is a better admission rate to the leading universities, Ivy Plus universities. It's a better admissions record than any other public service organization, public school, private foundation, or for that matter, private school in the country.
Like a lot of LEDA scholars, I grew up in a very homogeneous community. And what I learned as I went along was that the more diverse a community that I was part of, the happier that I was. And that just kept being a theme for me of wanting to live in places and and very intentionally join communities that were diverse across a number of different dimensions.
Advantage Testing Foundation really provides one of the key components that makes LEDA successful. That's the test prep piece. During the Summer Institute, where we bring together 100 students from all over the country while they're still in high school, and Advantage Testing is there during the summer, helping get them ready for the SAT and ACT and making sure that they are equipped with all the strategies, all the knowledge to get as high a score as possible so that they have access to these excellent colleges and universities.
One of my favorite memories as a LEDA scholar was when I finally got the score that I wanted on my SAT, and I could see how proud my tutor was, but also everyone around me was, including my peers. And that was really gratifying to me because it felt like a big accomplishment and the first of several big accomplishments. It felt like I could finally conquer things that I didn't think I could conquer.
My experience has been that it is indeed possible to bring students of modest backgrounds, of in some cases underprivileged backgrounds, very adverse backgrounds and circumstances, to bring them into these spaces, to build their confidence, and indeed to see them grow into the kinds of leaders we envision. I do believe informing students of how things work, if they're bright, it will enable them to move forward in society and indeed to help all of society in doing so.
I would absolutely recommend the LEDA program to anybody that I could, mainly because if you ask anybody who participated in the LEDA program what the impact of LEDA was on their life, most of them, if not all of them, would say that it was life-changing.
The Math Prize for Girls has set up the single largest competition for girls in mathematics in this country.
The point of this competition, in quotes, I put it in quotes, because competition comes from the Latin. It doesn't mean to strive against, it means to strive with. 300 girls striving with one another to generate more confidence in young women in mathematics.
It's so important for events like Math Prize for Girls to exist, to let girls know that no, there's a support network of people who certainly believe in them, and that there is a very important role for them to play with their talents in math.
Advantage Testing Foundation and organizations like it are discovering the people who can go on to change the world, because they're armed not only with brilliance and not only with great education, but they've come from a place where they've experienced the problems of the world.
Absolutely our responsibility to provide programs like this so that we can develop thinkers and compassionate individuals to be a part of our democracy and our leadership. We have got to inspire those types of individuals to be our leaders.
Investing in young people is an investment in our future. And so whatever a person can do to help us, to make sure that our future leaders are the best they can be, is one of the most important things they can do for our nation and for our world.
All of us at LEDA love Advantage Testing. We are so grateful to Arun and to the full team for everything you do. We would not be able to do our work without you, so thank you so much.
There are a few times in my life where there are key moments that really changed it. The first was being able to come here to the United States as political refugees through the Humanitarian Operation Program. And the second was when a kind teacher told me to apply to Harvard, and we didn't have the financial means to apply, so he paid for my application. And really the third is Arun and this trials program. The program, Arun, really allowed me to pursue law, and I cannot thank the program Arun enough.
I would say there's not a single student that I have talked to coming out of all of the Advantage Testing Foundation programs that doesn't feel an obligation to continue to support education and to help others the way they've been helped by Advantage Testing Foundation.
I want to see us continue to contribute to the diversification of leadership in America. That's my goal. That is what I'm devoting my life to, and very happy to envision a better, more diverse national leadership.